John DeSando.
Classics, let's go to the movies and share some popcorn, soda pop with our friends. Turn off our cell phones and get away. Night or day, it's John DeSando on the radio. We'll watch the credits from up high and low. Cinema classics.
All right, here we go. It's Movie Time is produced and hosted by John DeSando. Listen to broadcast shows Fridays at 4:01 and 8:01 p.m. Read reviews and listen to shows online at WCBE.org.
I'm John DeSando.
And I'm K G Kline.
And this is It's Movie Time. And as a Catholic boy, there was nothing more sacred than the Garden of Eden. And now Ron Howard has come out with his version. It's not the same as Sisters of St. Joseph taught me.
Well, it's the name Eden, but it really doesn't have much to do with Eden unless maybe you're a biologist. So this is a Ron Howard movie, and Ron Howard movies are consistently high-quality films. They're films that I always watch out for because he does such a good job of telling a strong story, and he likes making movies about real events.
Now, this Eden, however, is nothing like anything else he's had.
No,
Unless I'm
this
remembering.
is his most provocative movie.
Yes.
This is the first time he's allowed sensuality into one of his films. You know, we think back to his films, we think of Apollo 13, A Beautiful Mind, and then personally I think of Solo, the Star Wars story, although he was brought in to save that movie, not to necessarily...
So he's not new to taking historical facts
Oh,
and
no,
working
no.
with them.
He always loves doing historical
And this one
films.
is
This
about-
is his thing. This one's an interesting story. This is about a group of people that moved to an island in the Galapagos Islands.
Following a German doctor,
Yes.
played by Jude Law. He's slightly whacked. I mean, he's
Ever so slightly,
he's
yes.
tapping on his typewriter to tell the world how they should live.
Because it's 1937 and computers weren't
No,
invented
we're
yet.
talking 29. We're talking
1929 was when he arrived, and then early 1930s when everybody else started showing up. He'd been there
Yeah.
for a couple years.
Yeah, he could have been.
And he was writing his philosophy, his manifesto, and it was getting mailed out by leaving the papers in a barrel, and whaling ships and fishing ships going by the island would stop and retrieve these letters.
And most of it, I think, was more like a strange Nietzsche, the nihilist stuff. And he completely lost his faith in humanity. Well,
Oh, yeah.
in 1929 or 30, I could understand that.
He's German. He experienced World War I.
Sure.
Now Germany is suffering under the retribution for what happened in World War I. There's poverty, there's depression, businesses are stagnating, and he left that in order to go to this island, this paradise, he thought, where he could establish himself as the only person with his wife on the island,
Yeah.
and write his manifesto.
Vanessa Kirby, who was a Fantastic Four.
Yes.
Previous film.
And isn't she fantastic
And
in this
she
film?
has MS in this one. And boy, they are quite
She and Jude
a
Law
combo.
play a really, really wonderful combo. And Ron Howard is known for this. He is known as an actor's director. Actors love working with him. He is not a real, he's not a mean director. He's not the kind of guy that's going to push them, scream at them, make them do 50 takes. This is why actors like working with him.
Well, Dr. Ritter, played by Jude Law, does not want anybody else to invade his world. And so you get this other couple, Daniel Bruhl, isn't it?
Yeah.
And what's her name? The
actress?
Sydney Sweeney.
Sydney Sweeney, who we know from the miniseries The Handmaid's Tale.
Yes, correct. Thank you. And White Lotus.
And White Lotus.
Right.
Yeah.
Anyway, so she plays she's the most grounded of anybody.
She's the moral compass of the film.
Yes, right.
You know, she's the one who stays grounded, as you say, to everything that's happening, even when things go insanely out of control. And this movie slowly turns into an adult
It's
version
great.
of Lord of the Flies.
Oh, it is, absolutely. It's hilarious. It's the entrance of the Baroness.
The Baroness comes onto the island like Miss Piggy. She is flamboyant, she's over the top, and everybody has to worship her and kiss her hand. And she's brought her 2 lovers with her and a chauffeur to carry all the luggage. And she is going to build a grand hotel on this desolate island that has only 2 water sources, and they've already been claimed.
And Ana de Armas, coming off of Ballerina,
Yes.
is doing a fabulous job. She's way over the top.
Yes.
I mean,
when I say she's Miss Piggy, she's Miss Piggy.
Oh, she is, and in fact, she is more like the serpent in the Garden of Eden.
Yes,
Than anything.
And that's a really good analogy, John. Glad you said that. And this is where Ron Howard lets some sensuality sink into the story. She is there. Oh,
yes.
Gotcha. You don't get blatant nudity. You're never going to get that in a Ron Howard
who needs it?
movie, but you get a lot of scenes of implied sex.
Right.
Yeah, and she is, she's there with her 2 guys, and it is just so disruptive to the couple with their son, and of course the doctor and his wife, who are trying to just survive. They have great survival skills. She has no survival skills.
Listen, Ken, you're making me think. Howard is so canny that this place is grim. I mean,
Yes.
you think of the Galapagos romantically? No, this is a really
The
rocky.
The Galapagos is not a romantic, it is not Tahiti, it is not Bora Bora.
So he brings her in
Yes.
to lighten things up, and indeed she is to the task.
And it's a true story. This really happened. These 5 people actually were on this island, barely surviving. And then this woman, who may or may not have had any royalty to her at all, just comes in and upsets the whole balance.
Well, one of the reasons I love Flannery O'Connor is that she always brings in somebody from the outside, and an outsider changes everything.
Yes.
And this outsider changes that world as well. And there's somebody who does very well. This is the Hollywood magnate who shows up later on.
Yes, well, we have a Hollywood director, owner of lots of property in Hollywood.
Oh, in Hollywood, yeah.
Yeah, and he comes on just to take some
guy.
movie reels of these people living, because the word is out all over the world about these people living on this
But I
desolate
love him
island.
when he goes nose to nose with the Baroness.
She finally has met her match. This is not
This is a great
this is not a
performance by this guy.
22-year-old guy that can be wowed by her. He sees her for what she is, and he just puts her in her place.
And think of it, Ken, all of the allegorical possibilities here. You have Hollywood coming to this place when the doctor and everybody else is trying to remove themselves from the world represented by Hollywood comes in.
You feel sorry for Jude Law and his wife, because they really were trying to get away, and they were having an impact on especially Germany. Their manifesto was being published, and people were starting to believe what he was saying because of this way that he took himself out of society in order to become somebody who could speak from the outside.
Yeah.
But it all falls apart, and it falls apart in a dramatic, bloody way. And of course, this is based on 2 books.
They're opposing views.
They're opposing views. Yes, they're the wife, the doctor's wife, and the couple that arrives, the wife there, both wrote books, which tell very different views and different stories.
Yes.
And Ron had to sort it out and come up with sort of a fictionalized version of what might have happened.
And in the end, we could predict it. Those of us who've read Lord of the Flies, or I think about Mosquito Coast.
Yes,
I think about
another excellent one.
Other possibilities. You're trying to get away and you can't, because you're really trying to get away from yourself.
Yeah.
And it's hard. It's difficult to do. So when we come to this movie, it's not like it's spoiled. It's just that we know humanity, and we know that left by itself it might be okay. But once they come together, once you get other people invading your space, it's not going to.
It's going to fall apart. And the other thing that this movie does is it shows us what an influencer looked like in the 1920s.
Oh, that's a
You know,
great
long
point.
before the internet, long before.
She is.
And I'm talking about Jude Law.
Oh,
He's the
okay.
one. He's the one
But
sending out his
the
manifestos.
Baroness is also an influence.
Well, the Baroness is an influencer on the island, but she's not known anywhere else. But he is known worldwide. That newspapers are publishing his manifestos. This is how it worked in the 1920s. This is how influencers got their message out then, and they were doing sketches of this man and showing him, and completely fictionalized. They had no idea what he was really looked like and how he was living.
Well, that Hollywood mogul does mention Darwin.
Yes.
We try not to be facile about this, but the survival of the fittest seems like, yes, of course, that's what's happening here. But he does mention that to them, kind of bring that in, where it would seem to be the easiest thing to do is to take Darwin and pattern it on this, and that you don't have to do that. This is what we've always known about humanity, that left to their own devices, they are just...
Rod Serling did a wonderful
Yeah.
Twilight Zone episode called The Monsters Are Due on Maple Street, which was about the collapse of a street because of the suspicion that there was aliens coming, and they end up killing each other. And this is, and it is Ron Howard, so we're talking here really about a PG-13 movie.
Oh, yeah.
This is not, don't be afraid of violence or too much sex. It's not that bad. It's not that over the top.
It is still, in a sense, a family film.
It is still
Older
a family
kids.
film, but older kids.
Yeah.
But you will learn a lot about human interaction and expectations and trying to be something you're not. And this is what the film really is
And
about.
trying to understand how World War I could happen, and how World War II is gonna happen.
And the impact it had on society between the wars, and
Right.
how some people just decided it's time to get up and move out. Just as today, there are people saying, I'm getting out of America because this is not the country I thought it was.
Don't leave. All right, K G Kline. If our audience is willing to listen to more about our blather, then they can go to WCBE.org, the podcast experience, to back talk and hear more about it, because I think we might talk about some more survival films, and we might talk some more about Ron
I
Howard.
want to talk a little more about Ron Howard. 'Cause,
okay,
yeah,
then we're-
I'm a big fan of Ron Howard's movies, and this one is, as I said, his most provocative, and it's worth seeing.
All right.
It deserves more attention than this gets.
Ken, what do you advise?
I think this is a film that really should be seen by more people. It's not getting a lot of publicity, and it really should.
Yeah,
it really
it's
should.
a much better film than I think it's being received. And you haven't seen any of the box office yet? Too soon?
It's doing okay, but it's not released in that many theaters.
No.
So it's holding its own for the small release it
Yeah,
got,
not
which
marketing.
is unusual for a Ron Howard film.
I'm John DeSando.
Cinema, 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 cinema. Classics, let's go to the movies and share some popcorn, soda pop.